Welcome back to Oxford Medical Summaries. I'm going to take a new direction given what's happening with the ongoing coronavirus pandemic and in particular with the vaccine. The initial plan for this channel was to over time summarize the Oxford Medical Handbooks, hence the name of the channel. These books are considered by many to be the gold standard of medical textbooks worldwide, and that is still part of the long-term goal, producing content both from a combination of medicine and psychology. There haven't been many uploads, mainly because I was new to video editing at this level, and trying to find the best way forward in that regard has been a little bit tricky. Anyway, this new series will be called Vaccines Explored. It won't just be about the data and what the evidence says. That much is already out there. I will cover that and I will summarize all the evidence for you. But more than that, I intend to cover the psychology of why there is hesitancy over vaccines. There just seems to be so much inconsistency when it comes to vaccines and the mindset. The same people who say vaccines are evil and the whole system is rigged and corrupt, when you ask them if your loved one stopped breathing or had a cardiac arrest, what would you do? Invariably, they say we would call the emergency services, which are again all part of this supposed corrupt healthcare system. If you don't trust a system, why call them in an hour of need? The same men who advise others against the so-called evil big pharma companies, for example, the Pfizer vaccines, these same men request from us week in, week out Viagra, manufactured by who? The same evil Pfizer company. How does that make sense? It's the same big pharma companies that make inhalers that so many people trust and depend on, antibiotics that parents will fight tooth and nail for us to prescribe for their kids, even when we advise it's not always needed. And the same big pharma companies providing cancer medications and insulin for diabetics that essentially keeps them alive. Where is the mistrust and scrutiny when it comes to these medications and interventions? Again, I'm not defending any big pharma companies, and I have no association with any. With a whopping 17 subscribers on this channel, I don't think any of them could care less or know who I am, and I certainly wouldn't entertain any approach from any. In trying to counter some of this ignorance, both personal and within our community, I've asked colleagues, doctors, pharmacists, where can we find a comprehensive work or literature which addresses some of the concerns people have? And really, that's all we have: data, evidence. The same thing that we have for nebulizers, for oxygen, for insulin, for inhalers. But clearly that isn't enough, rightly or wrongly, when it comes to vaccines, from the same companies and research methodologies that produces all of these other medications and interventions. When it comes to vaccines, it's not an issue of evidence, but rather an issue of mindset and psychology. And quite frankly, after searching and asking many colleagues, there isn't anything out there addressing this. So in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, I've decided to do what he advocated, and that is be the change that you want to see in the world. So either there is one hell of a conspiracy going on for several centuries regarding vaccines, or there is a huge issue when it comes to psychology. So anyway, just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I graduated from Cambridge University in experimental psychology as part of the natural sciences program, and then attended Warwick Medical School where I qualified. I've since completed my postgraduate medical training and work as both a senior doctor in emergency medicine and a fully qualified GP, sometimes known as a family doctor. Like 99% of the doctors in the UK, we work on the NHS. We get paid the same amount whether we give a medication or don't give a medication, whether we administer a vaccine or don't administer a vaccine. It's not a privatized system. There are no incentives from private companies. If there are, I've never seen any. And I would think any doctor in the NHS would probably get struck off if they were to accept any payments from any pharma companies, or any company for that matter, that would influence their clinical practice. Recently, I've also been accepted on the evidence-based healthcare program at Oxford University. It's interesting, the course life chooses to take you. We all fall, and certainly I've stumbled many times, but it's a question of getting up, dusting yourself off, and keep moving forward. Again, I don't come from a privileged background. My parents migrated to the UK several decades ago. I was born and brought up in London. I guess you could say we had a very basic lifestyle growing up. I attended regular state schools, etc. Anyway, this channel isn't about me. It's about providing original quality content that I don't think you will find anywhere else. Sorry if this video is a bit boring. The upcoming videos, I promise you, will be far more interactive, entertaining, and I sincerely hope educating. If you do find anything useful or interesting, do hit the like and subscribe buttons to be kept up to date and to keep learning. So let's go on this journey together. From the cradle to the grave, the only way we grow is to learn.